Final frame of the session.
Once again, the break off has come off the cushion by 2 feet. Whenever you can get your hand on the table, if this wasn't the scoreline it was, this would be a certainty. But he nearly knocked me out in the commentary box there with his back arm. Oh, he's cueing awful.
I think that is a slight exaggeration, Willie. To be honest, it was a bad shot. I know where you're coming from. It was as bad as I've seen him hit one for a long time.
I think I'm prone to the odd bit of exaggeration then or something?
Well, I thought it was quite amusing. I don't think Ding was amused by that shot, and he's having a horrible day at the office, isn't he?
Even that shot, the first thing you do, you don't kiss the brown. It's just not even concentrating at the moment.
This is what I'm saying. We're going to find out really what he's got. I mean, it's only the first session, but it's damage limitation for him now. 7-1 down. And he knows it really, but he doesn't give the impression that he's really out there. And the thing with Stephen, it's always been the same. Certain players find it hard to play well when your opponent is struggling. Not Stephen, he's always been relentless. Well, having said that, that was a mile away. Well, it's a very entertaining session in its own right. It's not all been good snooker. This was not close at all.
What?
I think for one moment, the way he jumped up on the shot, I think he might have thought he'd missed that. Now these reds are okay at this end of the table. There's 2 or 3 that will pot, so ideally he'd like to get the brown off the next red to get it out of the way, but he can't do that, so he may have to play for the green again. He's just had a quick glance to see if the pink will pot. But the 2 reds above the black are, once he gets on one of those, we can see what he's got in the tank. This is the key shot.
He's played it great.
8.
Just wondering now whether he can play into the bunch here to loosen a few things up. Bound to be on the brown, but he's not playing that. See, the brown at the minute is in the way. It's not always essential to go into the pack from red to the pack, but this is one of the occasions where he might decide to open things up on this red. If he's low on it, let's have a look at what angle he's got on this red.
16.
Well, exactly the wrong angle. So he wanted to be low on the red to go into the bunch, so he'd have been on the brown. So not yet
17.
a good chance.
I think he deserves a little bit of good fortune. He hasn't really got it though.
24.
It's quite a good split, that.
Well, if he'd got a couple of frames on the board, you'd think this red in the middle would be easy, but that was a really, as you say, Neil, a great shot he played on the black to make things happen. Good shot, well done.
Yep, that was another good shot. So it's late in the day, but if he can somehow win this frame for 6-2, then he could regroup, and he wouldn't be out of the match with the second session coming this evening. That was another good shot. All of a sudden, he just looks like he's in a flow. He's a remarkable player in that he can go from one to the other so quickly. He's played 3 or 4 great shots here. There's the brown being taken out of the danger zone. That will help. He's got a little bit far on it, mind you, but I don't think it's anything of a crisis.
But it was careless, Neil, wasn't it? You know, all of a sudden now, he's, instead of being a little stun shot on the brown for choice of 2 or 3 reds, he's got to either play a cannon on one or play a holding shot, and they can all go wrong. You see, look, he's in a little bit in trouble there. There's 2 reds at both pot in the right-hand corner. He's on neither perfectly.
And you can see that one will pot. He'd like to be straighter on it, and he's asking for the cue ball to be clean. So at least he's taken a little bit of a breather.
It helps here that the pink goes onto the blue spot, gives him a lot more room. By far and away his highest break of the match so far.
.45.
Barring accidents, and I'm reluctant to say he's going to win the frame at this visit the way he's played, but goodness me, 1 in 1,000 he'd lose from here. And okay, he's on the one in the middle, but he didn't play for that one. He's just overrunning everything.
51.
He played for the one into the corner.
.52.
So red colour needed.
58.
Very welcome this frame if he can finally win one. He lost 5 in a row. The match was 59. At 1-1. He's had a nightmare session. Well, the frame is just about secured. He'd probably like to
65.
carry on now, actually. For the first time in the session, he's looked like he's got a bit of rhythm in his game, and I think he thrives on a rhythm in his game.
66.
He can be unstoppable when he's at his best. He's like a runaway train with his break building, but there's been none of that. None of it at all until now.
Well, are we going to start with a century and finish with one?
72. 73.
I'm glad that this packed audience has seen Ding play something like, because if you haven't seen him play before live, you'd be thinking, what's all the fuss about? I've heard this guy is a great player and you know, a contender 79. For the championship. I think he was 2nd or 3rd favourite to win the tournament. Came out here today like he didn't know what day it was, but no century I don't think, unless he
80.
Knocks a couple of miracle ones in, but at least he's proved that he's not going to lie down, and that was key.
Ding Junhui.
Yes, Stephen Hendry will be very pleased with that session. Hendry wasn't his best. Ding certainly wasn't. The key thing, he won the last frame to keep himself in the match. But he trails going into this evening's session by 6 frames to 2 to the 7 times world champion.